up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today in this video I'm talking all about the Tarte X ASPYN OVARD new face palette. This is what the packaging looks like for the box, not the actual product, but it's really pretty. It's rose gold and it just has her name on it, which is really, really cute. And then there's this little description on the back that kind of talks a little bit about her. If you guys have been on YouTube, you know who ASPYN OVARD is. So if you read the description, you probably already know it. It's like, she lives in Utah, she has a husband, she's adorable. Yeah, we get it. But how is the palette? So I was so pumped when I walked into Ulta and saw this was there early because it actually releases on the 15th, which is today. So yes, you guys got 2 videos in a row from me. What is up? If you haven't seen my yesterday's video, I did an entire skincare empties, and then today I'm talking all about this palette. So this is what the palette looks like. It is rose gold with floral on it. It's really, really pretty. And inside you get a blush, a highlight, and 9 eyeshadow shades. And this is what the inside of the palette looks like. It is really, really stunning. And I think it's really cool too because you get a really big mirror and it says ASPYN OVARD and Tarte. It also smells like chocolate, which is delicious, and so it's just a really, really nice palette. I think the color selection is really gorgeous and really neutral. It might come across as a little bit plain to you guys, but I think palettes like this that are really great for travel and have everything in them, like this is your go-to travel palette for just neutrals, and I think it's really, really nice. I don't really have anything like this in my collection, so I figured it'd be fun to pick this up. And to be honest, I might pass this along to my mom for her birthday, even though, Mom, I'm sorry, I used it. I had to go through and play with it because it's really, really pretty, but I think you would love this. So as long as you're okay with the fact that I touched it, I'd like to send this along for your birthday. I'll text you. We'll talk. So I do have the palette on my eyes today. I did go ahead and use every single shade in the palette, and I was really, really impressed. There are 5 mattes, 5 mattes, 1 satin, and I would say 3 kind of shimmer glitter shades, which I think is a great arrangement of color. You do have a lot of shades. This would work really great for pale or medium skin tones. If you are a little bit deeper, these shades might just be a little bit too light for you. She did pick a really nice blush shade, which I think is a really neutral color. It reminds me a ton of Tarte's Exposed, and honestly, that's probably what she went off of. So most likely you already have these colors in your collection. Honestly, the blush is really similar to Exposed. This highlight is just a very normal, neutral, champagne kind of white gold highlight, but the formula is way better than her Pixie collab. Let's just talk about that for a second. And the formula of these shadows is really, really nice, but again, you probably already have a matte cream shade, a bunch of transition shades, and some deeper browns and golds. So it's not necessarily anything new, but I think it's a really pretty kind of blushy, rosy palette, and she did a really good job on it. I think if you're just comparing it to palettes on the market for travel, this one I think is pretty dang good. It is what is on my eyes today. I will show you guys the look. Every shadow applied beautifully, and it's funny because Tarte is one of those brands that I kind of go back and forth on. They used to be my favorite brand, and then I was really unhappy with a lot of their eyeshadows, but they have been killing it recently, and I think it's just, it's hard, you guys. They're not a brand I necessarily love and support and think is the bee's knees, but I think this has been a really good palette for them. Honestly, this little collab with ASPYN, because this is just, it's neutral, it's pretty, it's good for travel, the packaging feels really nice, and it is under $40, and I just think Tarte did a good job on this one. Tarte still has other things they need to do, but for now, they did a good job on this palette, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We need to let the palette speak for itself. So I'm gonna show you guys some swatches, then I'll go into kind of my eyeshadow look. I'm terrible at eyeshadow tutorials, so I apologize in advance. It's gonna be me kind of like mumbling and like barely blending, but I was able to use every shade on the eyes. I think it turned out really, really pretty. All right, so let's get into swatches. I'm gonna move. We're gonna swatch starting on the left and just go down into columns. I'll say each shade and then you guys can kind of go from there. So first we're gonna start with the shade Made You Blush, which is this really creamy, beautiful toned blush. It's kind of rosy and it has just enough kind of neutral, pinky undertones that it's really, really pretty, and I really like it. This is the highlight in the shade Pure Soul. It's a really pretty kind of white champagne highlight. It's nothing new we've never seen before, but it is really pretty, and the formula is really, really nice on this. I really like that Tarte kind of went back to do this formula again. It reminds me of the Tarte Amazonian Clay highlight in the shade Stunner. And it is looking a little bit darker on camera than it is in person, I promise. It definitely is a lot lighter in person. Next is the satin eyeshadow in the shade Brilliance. This is definitely a little bit more pinky, and I like that you can kind of see it next to the highlight shade, so you can really see the pink undertone of that shadow. You can barely see it, it's right here. Next, we are swatching the matte shade in Santorini Sands. This is a very pale transition shade. And a lot of these shadows, although they look really brown in the pan, they do swatch of more of kind of like a neutral pinky undertone, if that makes sense. So there, right there is Santorini Sands. And then right beneath it, I'm going to swatch Married Life, which is the kind of matte cream shade, which is really great for setting all over the lid. And this also has more of a pinky undertone, but it definitely is a matte cream shade. All right, so moving down, we've got High School Sweetheart. This is a little bit deeper than Santorini Sands, but it's in the same family of kind of being a blush rosy brown. Sorry, my swatches are terrible. Looks like it doesn't matter if you get a new camera, the swatches are still gonna be bad. So that's what it looks like. You can kind of see that one's Santorini Sands, that one's Married Life. Next is Heart of Gold, and this is the most glittery metallic shade in the palette. It does take not much work to build up, but I would definitely recommend going in with a fingertip to apply this versus with a brush. And it is a really pretty kind of rose gold shimmery shade. I have this on the center of my lid. My swatch is making it look a little bit chunky, but it's not. It's really, really smooth and really pretty. And then the final shade in that column is called Tea Time, and this is a really pretty just neutral brown. I would say this is the most neutral of all the shades, although it still kind of has that mauvey pinky undertone, but it's really, really creamy. And I apologize, my swatches are terrible, but if there's one thing I need to say about this palette, it's that these shadows are really, really soft and just apply really nicely, and there's not too much kick up. Next is the shade Endless Summer. This I also have all over my lid, and this is just a brilliant shadow. Let me try. I'll just kind of show you guys. It's like one swipe pigmentation. Like, it reminds me of a ColourPop shadow. It's probably the smoothest shadow in the palette, and the quality is really, really good. Next is a deep matte shade, and this is Road Trip. This one is also really creamy and really smooth and just applies beautifully and blends out really, really nicely. My swatches are terrible, but there you go. And finally is the shade Wanderlust. This is also kind of a metallic, sort of more satiny shade, but it is a really pretty kind of copper, warm tone, deep brown. And this is what it looks like. So here is the entire palette on my arm, starting with the blush and highlight and then ending with all the eyeshadow shades. I think it's really, really pretty, and yeah, I was really impressed. So now I'm going to show you guys kind of the tutorial, putting it on my eyes. Just bear with me. This will be the finished look, and I did apply false lashes just for fun, but obviously you don't have to. After the tutorial, I'll come back for final thoughts. So I do have a little bit of concealer on my eyelids that I have set with just a translucent powder, but that is it. And I've got a little bit of mascara because I did put on mascara when I went out. And then I saw this palette in store, and here we are. Okay, so I grabbed another mirror to do this, but the mirror in this palette is huge. So this would be really awesome to travel with. So first I'm gonna go with Married Life. This looks like a cream matte shade. And I'm going in with a Sephora all over shadow brush. And I'm just going to put that all over the eyelid. This shade is really nice. It feels super creamy on the eyelid, and it's really, really pigmented. Hopefully that's showing up on camera. Let me zoom you guys in a little bit more. Is that better? So I'm gonna go in with just a second coat of that, just to make sure I really got that shadow all over the lid. Now going in with a Morphe M532 brush. It's just a fluffy brush like this. I'm picking up that shade, can you see this? Santorini Sands, which is a really pretty kind of, it's not necessarily cool tone, but it's this really pretty matte shade, and that'll be a perfect transition shade for paler skin tones like my own. If you are a little bit deeper, you might struggle using some of these shadows for transition shades. The shadow does have a little bit of kick up, but overall it does feel really, really nice on the eye, and it is applying pretty nicely. It's a pretty pale shade, so I'm not expecting intense pigment payoff. So now I'm going in with the shade High School Sweetheart. It's a little bit deeper than Santorini Sands. I'm just picking up a Sephora round crease brush that looks like this. Hello. Can you see it? Yes. And this is also kind of a more cool tone. It's just very neutral. This palette is just super neutral, which I really appreciate. So I'm just going to put this, really focus this in my crease. And this is giving me a lot more pigment than that last shade. Yeah, I like that. Kind of using the viewfinder to apply this. So hopefully we're blending okay. I'm going to go in with that one more time to just really deepen that up. There isn't too much kick up when you use these shadows, which means they are pressed pretty firmly, but they seem to be blending absolutely beautiful and be a lot more creamy on the eye. So that's pretty. I'm cool with that. I'm gonna just go in and pick up Santorini Sands one more time and just kind of blend everything all together, going a little bit higher. Because you guys see, I've got a lot of space between my eyelid and my eyebrow, so I tried to raise my natural crease every time I do my makeup. Okay, I decided to zoom you guys out a little bit because it was just a little too zoomed in for me. So now I'm going to go in with the shade Tea Time, which is a little bit deeper, and I'm going to pick up an angled shadow brush from Sephora, which looks like this. And just picking up Tea Time. I love that she has so many matte shades in here. I think that was a really wise choice, and it makes them extremely wearable. And I'm going to just kind of blend the shadow and smoke it out into the outer corner of the eye and kind of give myself a faux cat eye effect. It's not a faux cat eye, it is a cat eye. I am really happy with how all these shadows are applying, by the way. They are applying super easily. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a flat kind of shader brush like this. And I'm going to pick up the shade Road Trip, which is this deep brown in the palette. And I'm going to just line my upper lash line like so. And what's really cool about doing this with shadow is you can really flick it up and give yourself a really pretty kind of cat eye lined effect. So I've been really happy with how every single shadow has performed so far. We've only really dug into the mattes, but I'm pretty happy. I did get a little fallout from that darker shade, so I'm just picking up an EcoTools Skin Perfecting brush, and I'm just going to wipe that all away. This will help kind of keep my eyeshadow at that angle too. So now I'm going to pick up the shade Brilliance, which is kind of a satin champagne shade. I'm going to just put that on the brow bone. Oh, that's really pretty and super natural looking. And then I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which is called Endless Summer, and I'm going to just put that all over the lid. I'm going to try first with a flat shader brush from ColourPop, but I might actually go in with my fingertip. Oh yeah. I don't know if you guys can see that. That is giving me such a better payoff. That's really pretty. That's really, really pretty. And I'm gonna just pick up High School Sweetheart and kind of blend on top of that a little bit more to make sure we still have a crease. All right, now I'm gonna pick up Heart of Gold and I'm going to put that right in the center of my lid. I'm obsessed, you guys. This is so pretty and glittery. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. I hope it's showing up on camera how beautiful this is. Okay, I'm obsessed. Picking up a little bit more Endless Summer. I'm gonna try to blend those two together. Going back in with the angled shadow brush, I'm picking up Wanderlust, which is the last shadow in the palette. And we're gonna put this on the outer corner to just kind of intensify the look. I do have a crap ton of fallout on my face. I will zoom in and show you guys. And just going in with a blending brush, I'm picking up Santorini Sands, which is that lightest shade that we used in the very beginning, and we're just gonna blend all this together. So this is kind of what the eyeshadow look looks like. These shadows are insanely pigmented and so pretty, but there is a ton of fallout. I will show you. It's not crazy bad. Thankfully, the Skin Perfecting brush can brush away a lot of that. So I'm actually gonna pick up a little translucent powder on that Skin Perfecting brush, and I'm going to just clean up and bake my under eye a little bit, just to kind of get that cat eye shape back in line. I'm gonna let that bake sit for about a second. Baking is literally like an eraser for your eyeshadow and for everything in life. When in doubt, bake. So going in with a Tarte Skinny Smolder Eyes pencil, I am going to tightline my upper lash line. And I'm going to just barely line my bottom waterline. I like going about halfway. Just kind of helps to deepen, it helps to deepen my eyes a little bit and add just a little bit more oomph. Now I am going to apply lashes, and I'm just going in with this pair from Faixy. I will have the actual style linked down below, but I do have a full video trying these on and reviewing these. I love these lashes. They are so gorgeous, and you can get them discounted. My code will be linked down below. So I'm going to just go in and curl my lashes and apply a little bit of mascara, just so that my lashes are nice and black. And honestly, you could stop here and not apply fake lashes. Let me know how you guys are enjoying the lighting, by the way. I have been trying to figure out what looks best, and it's just taken me a little bit of time, but so far I'm pretty happy with how everything's been turning out. Everyone always applies their lashes off camera, and I don't want to do it. I'm horrible at applying lashes, but gosh darn it, I'm doing it on camera. By the way, I think ASPYN OVARD killed it with this palette. She killed it. She did such a good job. I know when I first saw it, I thought it looked a lot like the Ava Gutowski ColourPop collab, but experiencing it in person and getting to see it and swatch it and touch it and play with it, it's a really good palette. And the fact that it has a mirror, it's just gorgeous. The price is a little bit high, obviously because it's Tarte, it's a little bit more expensive. And for the size of the pans of the eyeshadows, I'm honestly not disappointed with the price. They are about the size of ColourPop single shadows, and their quality is unbelievable. So I think about $40 is a pretty good price point for what you're getting, considering you're getting 9 shadows, a blush, and a highlight. But man, ColourPop prices are so dang good. It's hard trying something new. You know what I mean? So now that my lash glue is pretty much dry, we're going to just pop these on. I now understand, by the way, why people apply their lashes off camera. Because if your lash is just being really annoying, it doesn't go on and then you gotta redo it. And it's just, it's an adventure. But we got our first lash on and we're going in for our second one right now. Hi. Okay, so here's what the look looks like with the lashes on. I probably will go over these with a little bit of mascara just to make sure everything is super blended together and looks really, really good and seamless, but so far I'm pretty happy. So now let's move on to the lower lash line. I'm going to pick up that same brush we used before to just kind of smudge, and we're going to pick up the shade Tea Time, which is this kind of neutral mid-tone brown, and just smudge this on the bottom lash line. And it's super pretty. And I'm gonna pick up Road Trip, which is that really dark brown, and put that right on the waterline, just on the outer corner. You guys can tell I'm the kind of person who likes quick makeup, and so it's really, really hard for me to just sit there and blend all day, but it is what it is. People love blending, so. Alrighty, so I'm gonna apply a little bit of bottom lash mascara and I'll be right back. You guys, I'm so sorry. As I was editing through my footage, I realized I didn't include me applying the blush or highlight. I guess my camera just wasn't filming. So, I'm gonna set you guys back up and I'm gonna just show you kind of a quick application of the blush and highlight. So I would definitely recommend applying the blush with a stippling brush. It is super pigmented, and so by going in with a brush like that, you're definitely going to get a little bit of a more natural payoff, but this blush is beautiful. I love that it's a matte blush, and I love that the undertones are a lot more pinky and neutral and just really, really pretty. I think it's a really great blush for summer or for spring. It just looks so cute and girly on the skin. I really, really like it. And then the highlight in Pure Soul is just gorgeous. I like going in with just a highlighting brush. And as you can see, it's just really, really pretty. It looks really, really natural. And I'm saying really, really a lot, but it's gorgeous and it gives such a lovely glow to the cheeks. And a little bit on the nose. I know for me, I definitely enjoy a more yellow toned highlight, but this one is super duper pretty. So there you go. Sorry, I forgot to apply that, but we're here. Okay, you guys, so final thoughts on this palette. I think it's really, really great. To be honest, if you're going to be picking up a face palette, I think this is the one to go with. Having a blush and a highlight is really, really great for travel and kind of keeps everything together. And then all the eyeshadows are really easy to work with. They're easy to blend. They're really smooth. Like, let me just show you guys so you can really get a sense of how they are, because it is super impressive. They just Tarte killed it. So let me just pick up, I'll do the shade Road Trip, which is kind of this darker brown so you guys can see. But this is one swipe, just kind of go back and forth and kind of blend it out. It's beautiful. It's really, really nice. And then this is the shade Endless Summer, which is one of their kind of creamy metallic shades, and it just reminds me of ColourPop. I just think they did a really, really good job. And you know, for 9 shadows, which the pan sizes are about the same size as a ColourPop shadow, if we're being real, that's kind of how I feel. They're huge. For a really good eyeshadow pan size and a pretty decent size blush and highlight, I just think you're getting such a good deal, and it's under 40 bucks, which is insane. It's a really, really great deal. The products are really nice. I haven't had a product from Tarte I've been impressed with in a really long time, and I think that one just nailed it on the head, hit it on the head, hit it on the nail, nailed it on the head. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys will be checking out this palette, and definitely go in store and swatch it and feel it, but you will be impressed. The quality is just really, really good. And I was definitely impressed and did not think I would be. But when I swatched it in store, I was like, shoot, now I gotta get this because it was just really good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please stick around by subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, check out my most recent videos right here, and I'll see you guys next time on my channel. Bye y'all!